What's up guys, Coach Nate here from The Run Experience, inviting you to our Run Cadence Challenge. We are gonna take 30 days to work on our run technique, to improve that specific aspect and use it as a Trojan horse for all different aspects of our run technique, as well as address a little bit of our strength and mobility so that we come out the other end just a little bit smarter, a little bit more nimble, and having developed a few more gears in the running toolbox. Stick around in this video to learn the details, how you can sign up and how you can get started. So running cadence is one of my favorite things to look at with runners because it's so tangible, right? It is this specific number that we can really use to address a lot of aspects about our run technique that are either hard to see or are kind of intangible. They're these fluid concepts. So we're gonna use it as a way to address ourselves, our running, our strength, our mobility through the whole month. Now, pump the brakes before we get into the specific numbers. The goal of this is not to get everyone running at some magical number, say at 90 or 180 steps per minute. The goal of this challenge is to get you understanding where you currently are, what happens when you start to fatigue and break down in your running. There's gonna be a change to that cadence, as well as to make you a more efficient, fluid runner with more gears. Hey, how can I be better and more efficient running uphill to downhill? How can I be stronger at the end of those races? And also, if I'm running and I'm dealing with pain and injury all the time, there is some mechanical component to this. So we wanna use our run cadence as this metric to improve that strength, that mobility, and that run technique. So here are the rules of the challenge. We're gonna start, we're gonna do a check-in, and we're gonna finish with a 1 mile run test at not too hard of an effort, where we're just gonna be counting a baseline for our cadence. Each week in our video, we're gonna lay out a cadence-specific workout that all in all is gonna total 3 to 5 minutes of running tops, where you're playing with different cadences based upon the base cadence that you established. In addition to that, there's gonna be a running concept that we're gonna talk about that you're gonna try to practice and employ, and a bonus core challenge that should be another 3 minutes to reinforce these concepts from the strength and mobility side so you can tie it back into your running. So all in all, you're putting yourself in, you're committing to less than 10 minutes of work a day for this challenge. So it's less about grinding yourself into a pulp, and it's more about committing yourself to the movement and mechanics and the intention. Each and every week, we're gonna drop a new video that's gonna explain the next progression in your run cadence workout, the next concept that we're gonna talk about in your running, and yes, that next core bonus challenge that you can then add into your week. We're gonna do a Thursday live Q&A session coaching with yours truly, and hopefully some other guest coaches involved, at noon, from noon to 12:30, something like that, on our Instagram channel. So if you don't follow us at The Run Experience on Instagram, please do so you can be part of those Q&A sessions. And all said and done, towards the end, we're gonna be calling for video submissions from you guys on what you improved, what you changed, how this challenge impacted your running. We're gonna choose our 5 favorites. We're gonna send you guys some swag, including a TRE hat, a new pair of Earn Your Miles socks, and we're gonna choose 1 grand prize winner for an extra special prize. All right guys, bringing you inside to talk more about a grand prize, and I just misspoke. I don't just have 1 grand prize, I don't just have 2, I've got 3 grand prize winners for the Run Cadence Challenge. And you are gonna get a package of some of our favorite stuff from some of our favorite companies we work with. First of all, you are going to get some exclusive The Run Experience swag from us, including these Earn Your Miles socks, pretty rad, and a Boko tweener run cap. I love running in this hat. Good for the sun, good for keeping the sweat off your face. Let's get into the really cool gear. I mean, not to say that our gear isn't the cool gear, but you know what I'm saying. Aftershokz is throwing in 3 pairs of headphones and endurance bundles. You have your choice of the Trex Airs, these lighter guys, which I love, or the Titaniums. Fun different colors, and they're going to come with a little endurance pack, including some other fun goodies in there too. Strike Movement is going to throw in a pair of shoes. These are my intervals, and I'm showing you because they're a little beat up and dirty, but that's just a testament to how much I wear these things. I've run 10 by 400 meters in these things. I have deadlifted in these things and box jumped and lunged. This is my favorite filming shoe, all around fitness training shoe for short runs and just strength and movement. It's just 2.5 millimeter heel to toe drop, so I'm pretty low to the ground, nice wide forefoot, and just kind of good, feel for things. This is one of their new shoes right here. Their new Chill Pill. You have a choice of what you want. Great color schemes, really, really fun. And just look at that little gold flex. How styling is that? And then our friends over at UCAN are throwing in a nutrition sample pack worth over $100. I love this flavor. The chocolate is great. Good to throw in my water bottle. I use it when I am, recovering after a workout at the gym. If I'm doing any long bike ride or run, I use it there too. I can't speak enough about these bars. The chocolate peanut butter bars are probably my favorite things on the planet. This is a little bit beat up because this went around Mont Blanc with my wife and I when we hiked 113 miles and inevitably would run out of food and we'd have 1 to 2 hours of additional hiking to go. We would split one of these things and this would keep us out of the hangry zone and happily hiking, and I should also say happily married. So we got a good UCAN little prize pack. Strike Movement is thrown in there too, Aftershokz, and gear from us. 3 winners are gonna get this entire set for participating in the Run Cadence Challenge. How about them, Al? So guys, here is the test. Now this is gonna be more of a finesse technique test and not a run your brains out test. So we're gonna run 1 mile, but at a 6 out of 10 effort. So this is something that well-trained you could hold upwards of a marathon, definitely 3, 5, 10 plus miles. And the goal is to count your cadence on 1 foot for 1 minute, towards the end of that mile to give us a good accurate sense of where you're at once your body's settled in. Now, just to get some of the confusion out of the way, for the purposes of this challenge, we are going to be counting just on 1 foot, not on both feet. So for example, if you did a cadence count of 85, right, that would be 170 of both feet, right? So what we're going to do is focus on that 85 number, because when we start doing the metronome-based workouts, we don't want 170 beeps at us. It's going to drive us a little crazy. We're just going to count with just 1 for that focus. A little extra accountability and motivation for yourself. Go ahead and drop your number down below this video or in one of our groups. So let's talk metronomes before we get into the workout. It's super important for this challenge that you have an audible metronome beeping out the rhythm for you, for your body to match it. And I know some of you guys and gals out there have a watch or another device that will track your cadence after the fact, but we don't want to just see it from behind. We actually want to have the rhythm changes force us to focus how we move our body. So that's going to be the key thing with the rhythm change. We'll leave a link on metronome apps that we prefer, as well as even physical metronomes that you could buy and click to your belt and have as well. Now, for this first week's workout, it's only 3 minutes total of running, and it's broken down to as follows. You are going to take your base cadence that you established in that first mile test, and we're going to do 1 minute at base plus 2. We're going to walk easy for 1 minute, then we're going to do 1 minute at base plus 4, 1 minute easy, and then we're going to do 1 minute at base plus 6. So a total of 3 by 1 minute at this cadence interval where you are working on those different cadence rhythms. So let's say, for example, my base test was 80. So I've got my 80 cadence here, which you can hear. For that first minute, I'm going to go base plus 2. So it's just going to go to 82. I'm going to find that rhythm. Not too fast right now. And of course, if let's say you were 90, you would go 92. And then I'm going to go for the next minute to 84. And then the third minute is going to be 86. Now, the question I guaranteed I'm going to get from this is, well, aren't I just going to increase my speed every time the cadence goes up? And this is where we want to separate your speed from your cadence. So what I'm really asking you to do to maintain the same effort level is to shorten your stride length as you go for those higher interval pieces. The next piece, I'm going to explain a little bit more about why that's important and what this tells us about our posture and our hip position. So there's this paradox in running cues and running form. In one breath, we're told to run really tall, to run really upright, and then in another breath, we're also told to lean, to fall forward, to use gravity when we run. And that always got me. I was like, wait a minute, how can I run tall and fall forward at the same time? Well, I realized it has a lot to do with our body position, and that we're not just in this straight line as we run, but we move through moments of, being in a neutral position to extension, where this leg swings way out the back. You kind of see that beautiful running pose where people have pushed off that back leg and their body has this, kind of parabolic shape to it, where it's not necessarily just a straight line. I also know that when I'm running and as I get fatigued, things start to cramp it up. Things start to get stiff and my cadence starts to drop a little bit as I fatigue. And there's a relationship here between my cadence dropping and what happens with my posture and position. I know that as I fatigue, it gets harder to be upright. It gets harder to keep my hips forward in a nice, beautiful position, and I start to break down in some way. And when that happens, my hip flexors, which are these natural rubber bands, they don't work as well anymore because either my hips have been dumped, I've put a little kink in my low back, or I've just lost posture and position. So my ability for this leg to swing back and snap right up again, that gets a little bit blunted. I literally become less snappy. So what's key with this in this first week, this first concept, is think about running tall with your hips forward. If I can lead with my hips, what that's going to do is it's going to keep my hips tucked underneath me, my spine in a strong, stable position. By pushing my hips forward, I'm making sure these glutes and hamstrings are engaged, and it reinforces this nice, snappy return of the leg where this foot sweeps back, curls up and over again. And I know that if I break down in some way through here, which we all do at some point, the biggest, most significant change I'm going to see is how quickly these feet come back, they start to drag against the ground, and the cadence starts to drop. In this next little piece, I'm going to talk about a core strengthening exercise you can do to reinforce this concept. So our core bonus challenge this week is going to be accumulating 3 minutes in an arch body position per day. It doesn't need to be 3 minutes all at once. You could break it down into some 30-second holds. You can do it in one session or spread it out through the day. But this is a key component of reinforcing how we stabilize our spine. We get strong and stable in that extended position. So I'm going to start face down. I'm going to squeeze my butt nice and tight and press my hips hard into the ground this way. And this is really key because this looks like a Superman position. And if I just come up like this, I haven't really set my glutes. I'm just going to yank myself up through the low back. So I want to squeeze my butt, press my hips hard, and then from there, I'm just going to pull my legs up off the ground a little bit. And as I do this, I'm already starting to get all the posterior engagement I care about. Abs are on, I've got a lot of glute and a lot of hamstring. Perfect. From here, what I can start to do is bring my arms out towards in front of me as much as possible, and I'm just gonna lift that chest a little bit. Now this is an exercise in subtlety. I don't have to yank myself up from max height. It's just pulling myself off. And can I breathe here and be strong and stable? And again, your focus, set a clock, accumulate a total of 3 minutes here in this arch body position, because this exactly reinforces that hips leading the way concept we just talked about the running, which will help us execute well on that cadence. So go forth and run cadence/conquer, focusing on the workouts that we laid out for you this week. Next week at about the same time, we're gonna drip the focus and the changes to your run cadence workouts for the next week. So we're gonna keep doing that as the month progresses. Of course, if you wanna do this workout and really interact with it in a very new and unique way, we'll download our new training app, because you'll be able to do just that. You'll be able to track your run in there, ask coaches and questions from us, as well as access our library of workouts on strength, mobility, and technique, things that we hint at that might be beneficial to you. And of course, we wanted you to do all the regular stuff too that we like to ask on YouTube. If you hit that like button down below, that really helps other runners find this challenge to make improvements for themselves. Drop any comments or questions down below too. If you have any questions there, we're starting a conversation here. And of course, subscribe to our channel, guys. We got new videos coming out each and every week. And as I said, we're gonna have future weekly additions to this challenge coming out too. You wanna subscribe so you can see those, and I'll see you guys in the next video.